Hi guys, Brian with Floorz. Sitting here with Julian, how you say your last name again?
Dossche.
Dossche. Okay, yes. It's a hard name. Hard one. Can you spell that for me?
Dossche.
You see, I don't have a chance. So, hey, we're sitting here right in front of an awesome Canopy logo. Tell me a little bit about, I just want to talk about your background. I'll just start with the background of, let's just talk about LVP in general. Like, I know the story, people in the industry know the story, but I want my customer, the consumer, the person that comes into my store, sees international flooring, sees the Canyon line, the Canopy line. I want them to know what it means.
No, happy to talk about it. So IFC in general, we've actually come upon our 3-year anniversary. I was notified by LinkedIn. Sometimes you forget. But yeah, 3 years ago we started IFC, and from IFC we built our brand Canopy, which we're sitting in front of, and you see in the stores and see in your store. So thank you for the support on that. It wasn't 3 years ago that we really started in business. I've been in the business. I was born into the business. Really, my father was in flooring ever since I was a wee little one. But in hard surface, we have been in the LVP space since 2012. We invented what they call today WPC, and there's a big brand out there today that was part of our family, which is now part of Shaw Industries. And we pretty much took what LVP was, which was very flexible, plank format, 5mm click LVT.
Mm-hmm.
That was doing okay, but it wasn't changing the game. It had more issues than it had.
The early stages of it were,
was not
failure rate was really good, and people didn't really understand
correct.
Floor prep the way they do today.
Correct. And so we decided when we invented that WPC product, we needed something that truly solved and gave solutions not only to the retail world, but also to the end consumer in terms of ensuring that floor prep was there, but also that the product was robust. It had a hand and competed in that click product space.
I want to share the story that I've heard numerous times. I guess that's why I've never heard it directly from you, but I've heard stories of you were a young man, you got married, you showed up, and Dad goes, "Julian, I need you to go to China." Right? I've heard jokes about it, and you were like, "Yeah, okay, Dad." Went home to your newlywed wife and told her. I mean, is that the basis of the story? I mean, tell me a little bit about what that meant, because you had a lot to do with the manufacturing of it and how the quality came out of China initially, right? Now I know it's sourced to other places as well, but tell me about that.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. The Cliff Notes version is true. I mean, this all happened in 2013. My dad had invented this product, and when you invent a product, you get prototype, and it's not very truly for mass market, but he said it was. But we needed somebody to produce this for us, so we kind of scoured the world. We started in Europe to see if somebody in Europe could make this product for us from an OEM perspective. Everybody kind of laughed us out of the room, and then we said, well, we go to Asia, because at that time we were bringing in quite a lot of bamboo flooring. So we were pretty in bamboo, if those remember that, those days. Bamboo, the best bamboo in the world, still grows in China. I mean, we're talking bamboo stalks that grow this thick. And that's how you're able to, cut the slats, make bamboo floors out of it. And so we went to one of our bamboo suppliers and said, we've got this idea, we got this product. Nobody wants to make it for us. And our bamboo supplier said, yeah, I'll do that. I need to diversify that bamboo anyway. Let me figure it out. Okay, it's one thing to say I'll do that, and then the other thing to ensure that the product actually comes out of a factory with quality and can be sold to the masses. So yes, that's when Julian, I need you to move to China. He came up in April of 2013. I was married in March of 2013, so 1 month later. My wife, Rachel, who I am proud of her, because, I mean, marrying into a family is already one thing, but marrying into a family who tells you to move across the world is a whole nother thing. So we moved with 8 suitcases in 2013, and then end of 2018, we moved home with a container, a dog, and a baby.
Nice. And your role primarily when you were overseas was, tell me what your role exclusively.
So I helped build out our complete manufacturing process, product, raw material, the whole kit and caboodle from a logistics perspective, but really from understanding that product, learning from the mistakes that we were making at manufacturing, getting feedback from the field, such as feedback from you guys, to ensure that this product could stand the test of time, and was continuing to solve the problems that we made it out to be when we put the patent and product together. And then my wife joined the business, and she became in charge of all PO management, logistics. So really true back office. We were, in essence, the manufacturing arm of the company that was here based in the U.S. So
Gotcha. That was U.S. Floorz. I'll say it. Originally, it was U.S. Floorz. So they really invented, and I'll just say what invented the category ultimately. Kind of transformed into Cortec, and then Shallock Cortec. And then I understand that mostly your dad retired, and you and your brother. You had everything you needed. I mean, you guys knew how to do it. I mean, hell, you invented it.
yeah.
I mean, ultimately, we'll say your dad invented it, but then he told you to make it better, make it right. So I think that's what your role was. Is that?
Yeah, no, it's definitely on the quality control technical side of it. So can continue to perfect that product. Obviously I didn't do it by myself. There were a lot of layers involved. But yeah, no, I mean, my brother and I, and then Greg, Ren, and John Tide, for those that have met him or not, we all decided that there was a gap in the marketplace. And this is, kind of looking at the industry as a whole. There was a gap in the marketplace for bringing, COVID was an interesting time for everybody, good or bad. The flooring industry happened to have a good element of that because people were, truly remodeling their homes. But what COVID did too, in my opinion, is it took kind of the integrity out of the market.
I know.
And what I mean by that is that a lot of people who had some cash jumped into booming industry, so to speak, and a booming industry happened to be in housing and in remodel of housing and building materials and flooring. And palletized goods it's not hard to ship across the world and container ship every day. So we saw this just lack of integrity, this lack of pricing, this lack of quality coming into the States, and there was nobody really jumping on trying to fix that. And so we said, nobody needed another LVP supplier, but we said, hey, we know that product inside and out. We also know we had the right story and history behind the product to continue to create an element of integrity. And then number 3, we also wanted to make sure that the retailer, who you guys know how to serve your community best and know the consumer base in your community. We wanted to go and make sure we could partner with those, such as yourself, to drive the right message, the right product, and the right solution to the community that you operate.
So I'm gonna touch on what you said. So from a retailer perspective, I mean, he kind of talks about the integrity loss and things that happened during COVID. I mean, so what people really, a lot of people don't really know is that a container went from $4,500 to bring it overseas to bring it here to $25,000. And what ultimately happened is the industry took what was a good product, and let's call it an 8mm WPC product, proven product, and it got down to a 4mm or a 4.2mm product. That's the thickness, with a 6mm wear layer, and they were still charging a premium for the product. Yeah. And then what happened?
Promising that it could do everything.
Promising, and it surely could. I can tell you that because as a retailer at Floorz, I mean, we've seen a lot of issues with stuff during that time. We've overcome a lot of it, and I would say our entire industry adjusted quickly to it. All the retailers adjusted real quickly when they saw what was happening. I think there's still box stores out there and people that are doing it. And my ideas, anything in my mind, anything less than a 5mm thick rigid core. I mean, I would prefer 6 even. I mean, I was just at the Wally plant, which coincidentally is a made in the USA SPC plant, and I think I don't think I know you actually got that entire plant up and running with them. So I was there seeing them. That was pretty cool, by the way. That was exciting. But cool. But what happened is it just they got so expensive, and then it reminded me of laminate in the 90s, right? Laminate got to a point where it's 88. I'll never forget. It was 88 cents at Home Depot. But if you dropped a piece of water on it, you just dropped a dribble of water on it, it blew up, right? So then laminate got a bad name, right? So that's what was going down with SPC and LVP, and I really think when you guys came in, you helped put it back on track for what it needs to be. Maintaining quality standards. You didn't come in with generic sub 5mm product.
No. We have a We have a 5mm SPC, as you mentioned. You saw it on production lines today. But we also really focus on 8, 12, and 15mm WPC products because we believe, number one, the value that we can drive for as a consumer is there, and it helps, call it attainable luxury. Because wood, I mean, we can talk about wood all day long. Wood is, everybody aspires to have a wood floor if they look at a hard surface. But the problem with wood is that wood is harder and harder to get. It's also, from a maintenance perspective, there's a little bit more nervousness around maintenance around wood because, what do you do? How do you wash it? How do you clean it, etc.? How do you maintain it if it's an oil finish or whatnot? So it has that extra layer. So kind of a peace of mind product in terms of maintenance, you look at more at LVP. And then if you want to truly get as close to wood as possible, the 15, 12 millimeter WPCs really, I would say, mimic that. So.
Oh, they're beautiful. I mean, and really that's what the Canopy line focuses on.
Right.
It's all WPC products. There was some stuff that we saw it is, and it's some new lines are going to be coming out in February or January, actually, the surfaces, which was exciting. I fell in love with one color. I was like, yes, that's.
I know, we railed down for a couple trucks. I know.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's John Truck T. That's it. So if you know John T, he just sells by the truckload.
Yeah.
So, but
He doesn't know what a card is.
he's a great guy. He's a great partner. So, look, what has been your biggest challenge? So International Flooring Company, 3 years now. Canopy brands, 1 year old roughly.
Years and a half.
That's been saying 18 months.
Yeah.
What's been your biggest challenge?
Well, the biggest challenge is the brand promise. When we came with Canopy, we stated to you as our customer, we are going to make a brand that protects you as a retailer in your market. Something that we discuss internally with each other on what your market looks like. And the pushback we received, which is very valid, is, well, yeah, we've heard that from everybody. So the brand, I guess the biggest challenge has been ensuring that we can take that brand promise and continue growing upon that. And we're now 6 or a year and a half into it, and I can attest that we are still standing exactly when we first said we will protect you in your marketplace, so that we can invest in the market and the community that you operate in.
And I believe when you told me that, I would say that there was some reluctance from me. I'm just kind of like, okay. But then I knew the players. Like, I knew you. I knew your dad. I met your bride, just met your brother. And I was like, they didn't get to where they were because they don't do things with integrity and honesty. So, I mean, I was full-fledged, all in. When you first came out, I'll tell the story when you kind of first came out. John the truckload T, he was not carrying suitcase around surfaces.
Yeah.
And he was selling out of a suitcase, and I kind of saw you, got to meet you, talked to your dad a little bit. I've known him for years, and I never forget it because I felt like I looked at you guys like the star quarterbacks, like literally like Tom Brady just showed up, which now would be Baker Mayfield for me because I think he's a great quarterback in Cleveland. Screw him, but that's a whole nother story that we already get into. I think he's a good quarterback, but it's all right to have a difference. We can agree to disagree around there, 100%. All right. So, but that's I remember buying quite a bit of material right there out of a suitcase, and basically when the quarterback showed up and I was playing backyard football, I was like, oh yeah, I'll play. Come on, play a game with me. I want you on my team, right? So that was like my first, instinct was like, yeah, this is it.
Well, I look at it, back in the day, the first people that sold cargo were called cargo baggers. We were the first people to sell LVT out of suitcases, so we're just at LVT cases.
LVT case. That's funny. But that was, I'll never forget that because I talked to him, and then when I went, I met you, and we were joking earlier at Eye Candies, this little bar, and everybody was hanging out there, and I went up to you, and the first thing I said is, what's important to you? I mean, how are you going to do this? You're starting up, you're selling a suitcase. And you said, we're going to service you, we're going to take care of you, and I will make sure that we always do the right thing for you. I'll never forget that because we're in like a unique setting, and I'm asking you some challenging questions. I mean, you nail it. And ever since then, like I actually get goosebumps talking about it right now. partnerships are important to me. I mean, I don't need, I was telling him I got an email this morning from some distributor from who knows where, USA, like, hey, we got a new LVP rep in your area. And I'm like, hey, delete spam, Don. I'm like, there's so many of them, right? But they're not all true partners. You know, in my experience with distributors historically is if you have an issue, oh my goodness, it's like pulling teeth to get something addressed. And none of us are perfect. We're all going to have issues. We're going to have claims in our industry. I'm going to have instances where my guys don't do something right, or somebody doesn't install something the right way, and I'm going to have to make it right. And the same thing goes with you. If there's an error, you're going to have to make it right. So I truly appreciate that partnership. I mean, that you don't know how much it means to me that I can, there's not very many vendors and people that I can just send a text somebody a picture or image, and then we'll respond right away and say, hey, I got you, or I see this, or try that. I mean, I just saw Greg today. There was an installation problem with somebody on a stair nose. And then Greg got on the phone and he's talking to him about how to fix it because he did it in his own house.
Right.
I mean, that's unprecedented. I mean, so that's great because you are a certain size that you can still do that. But I believe as you've grown, I haven't seen that over the last 3 years. I haven't seen that go away.
No. And you know,
and that's important to me.
I'll say it's a test to the whole team. I mean, you know, we're on the front end, or I'm on the front end, you know, interacting with you on a day-to-day basis, but you have people like my brother, William, who's constantly on the back end, making sure that what I promise, and with, you know, the likes of John Trupp-Tig, promising that it actually gets done so that we are true to our word. And yeah, as we continue to scale and grow, and again, we are trying to make sure that we are calculated in our growth, and again, be more meaningful to people like yourself, so that we can continue to drive that type of service and that ability to respond quick. And I mean, you're right, partnership is probably one of the most overused words in a lot of industries, but we truly want to bring that definition back to its core, and then ensure that, you know, when a partnership is truly strong, it's not the good days that matter, it's really the bad days that matter. And to your point, if there is an issue, because we're human, I mean, we make product 24/7. The guy on the line on night shift, they might have not slept well the day, you know, or so forth, or a raw material didn't come in truly, or I mean, the list.
Anything are happening.
Yeah, and so we're gonna have issues, and so it's just ensuring that we address those issues head on and solve them.
Well, I can attest firsthand at any time, and it hasn't happened very often. But anytime there's been even a question or an issue, you guys have handled it like rock stars, and I appreciate that partnership. You know, I want to go back to what you also said about your partners. When you put the Canopy line out, I know that you guys really looked for certain partners, right? So it wasn't just about like exclusivity and protection. You were not only like protecting needs, so to say, so everybody on the corner doesn't have it, right? So from a retailer perspective, all that does is it drives the cost down. Obviously, the consumer's like, yes, I can get it. But in the end, there has to be some value to a product, and you've done a good job of that. But more importantly, you chose partners that were going to do it right.
Correct.
Because you didn't want somebody that doesn't have I mean, I'll just use a floor prep line. You know, we have every invoice that we send out has a floor prep line on it. And it really is we might need it, we might not need it, it might go away, it might triple. We don't ideally know until we pull up the surface, but you chose those partners. Why? Of course you chose them. Why? You chose Floorz, but
yeah, for sure.
But so I don't mean some we also, you know, you did just go everywhere.
No, and you know, I've got IFC has an incredible sales team that basically is the front lines for us, that helps us figure out in those specific communities that they operate. Because, you know, we can pull out a list and pull out a map and say that one, that one, that one, but more it's understanding from a sales rep that our team, who, you know, eats, breathes, and what is the mission, can say that's a partner we need to have under our canopy, so to speak, so that we can, you know, properly serve that market with that specific retailer. So I do give a lot of kudos to the sales team in being able to do that, and they've done a great job so far.
So let's talk about Canyon versus Canopy real quick. I want to hit on that, right? So we've got a Canyon line and we've got a Canopy line. Are they meant to serve different audiences or channels? Explain to me exactly.
So Canyon has a WPC line, but very limited. It's very much focused on our SPC line, and SPC, again, we love 3-letter acronyms in or abbreviations or whatever.
What's this called? C sample?
Stone plastic composite. And so as there's more stone filler in SPC, limestone is the stone, and we don't put a foaming agent in it. So that's why your thickness only can get to a certain point before you weigh that product out and you no longer create any efficiencies in manufacturing. WPC, when we invented the product, we had wood dust. In fact, we had bamboo dust in it because a bamboo supplier was the one that helps us start it. But that wood element is completely out of it now, but it's more of we now call it more of a waterproof plastic composite. But it really originated because at some point it had a wood element to it. But Canyon is very much focused on, call it the entry level product lines, where the lowest we go on Canyon, in Canopy is our 8mm WPC. So from a price point perspective, we get a little bit more, call it competitive and more on the lower end, on the value end of the flooring industry.
Let's talk about that real quick though. So, but your 5, I'm gonna go back to the 5mm and then the 6mm rigid core again. What's different about the construction as opposed to a lot of the stuff that people see out there today?
Yeah, so when we brought SPC to the market back in late 2014, early 2015 for the first time, we saw, different types of SPC being made because people were starting to realize, wow, there's a lot of success in this rigid LVP line. We need to get into that, but we don't want to invest in all this equipment and all those things. So they went more lower barrier to entry, which was basically an extruded product where everything was laminated at the same time. That's what you saw today, where the wear layer, print film, core were all pretty much made and married at the same time. Now, the issue with that is stability. Dimensional stability becomes your biggest challenge. And so we looked at that and said, how do you create a product? Because WPC, the beauty about that is it's multi-layered. It's one process makes the LVP top layer. It gets to acclimatize, it gets the rest. We make the core, gets to acclimatize, gets the rest. And then we make we get the underlayment, and then we marry it all together in a separate process. As you notice, I just mentioned a lot of different processes, so your cost structure is different. Where SPC, it's all done there, but plastic has memory, especially when you heat things up, then it wants to cool. So we said, how do you create something that can stay dimensionally stable in a process like that? And so we came up with what we call co-extruded. And so what we did, just think wood today has your veneer, a core, and then a balancing layer. I mean, it has the same thing. And it's truly, we do that all in line, and we have 2 extruders, and we call it an ADA construction. The 2 A layers are the exact same formula, and then the B is slightly different. It's that core, and that's where the click system gets the profile in. But with that construction, it allows us to be extremely dimensional stable. So it's pretty much just like what you know in engineering a product. It allows 2 layers to work with each other to manage the middle layer. WPC already inherently does that. That's why it's very dimensional stable. But what we've seen, that cost structure bringing 2 extruders, multiple raw materials now, it's a bit more expensive. You mentioned COVID and how everybody was trying to get as low as we could go because of cost structures in other areas of supply chain were increasing. So everybody went to this single extruded process. And that, unfortunately, has been one of the demises, in my opinion, of, number one, the dimensional stability and the integrity of that SPC line. We don't do that. That's where the Canyon line comes into play for those that need that value-oriented product, but still very much quality-driven.
Yeah, still ABA construction. So it sets itself aside from a lot of other stuff you're going to see out there in the market. So that's important to know. And we've used that on a couple specs, and we pointed that out, and people really didn't know the difference.
Right, and you can see. I mean, if you look at a profile of the product, you can definitely see the color differences.
Okay. How important are independent retailers like Floorz to IFC business?
Oh, they're paramount. I mean, we are building a brand to support the independent retailer, because we know that just like in any industry, the way the consumer shops is changing. But because we believe that flooring, it's an emotional purchase, it's a disruptive purchase. I mean, unless you're buying a brand new house and never had furniture in it and never lived in it, you have to move your life out of that room to change it. And we believe that, if you do it online or do it at the big box, you completely lose the ability to has somebody like yourself and your team walk through that process, walk through the emotional element, walk through the disruptive element of it, so that in the end, when that floor is done and that room is rebuilt, it was you can properly tell that consumer, we helped you through that way, and most of the time they need it. I mean, we're going to continue to see online and big box. I mean, I'm not putting our head in the sand there. Those are big businesses. They do a lot of business, but we truly believe that for this product, we need to build brands that 100% support the independent retailer like yourself, so that number one, you can focus on that community and make sure that the emotion and the disruptiveness are managed accordingly. Because it is, I mean, I've done it before. I hate remodeling, but I'm in the remodeling business because of how disruptive it is.
So you and Greg, a lot of people on your team, you've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
What drives you and what keeps you guys passionate about it?
Well, I mean, it's a family business, right? So I've got 3 kids now. So they drive a lot of my passion, because it's a family business. You know, my brother William's in it, and he's building a family. We're partnered with Greg. He's building a family, and then everybody that we have on the team is either in process of building, had a family, etc. So it's because it's family, we are driving this for our families. You have a family and so forth. It's how to connect that whole space together. So what keeps me waking up excited about this business is that we are building something not just for ourselves, but to ensure that our next generation or mutual generation, if it's your spouse or whoever, can properly benefit from building something better.
It's awesome to see something grow and build something too, though.
Yes. I mean, the gray hairs are showing up, and I'm, younger than 40 years old, so that's legal concern.
At least you got it.
There you go.
At least on your head. I don't go on your face, but that's a whole nother story. Years. We're not going to get into that again. I already know. Okay, all right. Just want to make sure. So today, something that was really cool. And so when I went and I saw all the design elements and all the prints and all the innovation and design and the work that I know Greg puts in a lot of that effort for you. He really leads that. That was exciting.
Yeah.
So what's coming next?
Well, we're going to continue to build upon our brand Canopy. We're very much focused on the WPC space today. And so really for 2026, it's going to be an additional strengthening of the Canopy brand and the offerings that are in that. We also know that we're not perfect at picking color and design and spec, so we have to curate some of those out and market shifts. And that's fine. And we just have to, keep the emotion out of certain products so that we just say, you know what, we screwed up on that one. Let's move on. Yeah. But then, we are looking at innovation. I mean, we came out with a Canopy Flex line, which is a self-adhering loose light. We fully believe in that loose light space because it's a nice bridge. That product is a nice bridge between Main Street commercial and residential.
Mm-hmm. And it works in both.
Yes.
Very well. And you've done a great job with the designs. The designs they're out of this world. They're really good.
Yeah, right now we're sitting on 10 tile designs. We focused on tile purely because we don't have any tile offerings in our rigid products for multiple reasons. But we wanted to get into the tile looks, and we also wanted to get into a tile look that was easy to install in smaller spaces because that's where most of the tile goes. Bathrooms, entryways, and kitchens and so forth. So we wanted to be able to give your installer base an easier product, a product that still has a lot of quality, and it solves a lot of problems. It's got great sound ratings, and it can be installed over pretty much every surface. You obviously have to make sure that line item stays in your offering. And then we've got other products that I won't talk too much about, but that we're going to continue to innovate and drive. So
always teasing us with something.
Always, yeah. No, so we're looking for solutions, so it's not just gimmicks.
Yeah, no, I like the fact you throw the teaser out there because for me it's exciting because I know that when you do something, You're not going to do it. I'm just call it out. You're not going to do it half-assed.
No.
I mean, you're gonna really look into it. You're gonna dedicate your heart and soul to it, and when you roll it out, you want it to be a rock star. I mean, Flex Tile. Didn't we get an award for that? Didn't you get an award for that? Surfaces last year we won, no?
Won an innovation award, which was very surprising. Didn't even know we were nominated, but we were very humbled by it. But it was because we studied the tile side, because we were looking at a rigid tile format, because our team, you guys were asking for it, and we said, well, something doesn't feel right with a rigid tile. And from history, it's a harder product to sell, to curate and to source. So we said, well, let's look at something different. We also saw at the same time that loose lay was starting to get some traction. Main Street commercial is a strong category for retailers like yourself. I mean, if somebody wants to come in and do a hair salon or restaurant or whatever, you guys are the perfect place to ask for help, guidance, and design. And so we wanted to give another offering for us to be able to bridge and help you solve those customers' questions.
And there's a lot of creativity. I think we just saw a picture from one of your retailers who just installed it in a sunroom, like one room in the back of a new construction home.
Yep.
And he did a 12 by 24 pattern. They took the 18 by 18s, and they did
created a border and then made a checkerboard.
Yeah, did a checkerboard.
What's beautiful.
And he didn't do it straight. He did it on 45 too. So it was absolutely stunning. So I probably already asked you. I'm gonna share that, but they're gonna share that picture probably on Canopy anyways. But I think it's just something that people really need to see. I mean,
well, the designability of that product is
unlimited.
Pretty much unlimited. Yeah. So
yeah, we're excited about it. We just did a couple of them. I told you this where I was at the showroom, and we had the samples in, and everybody's like, "What are we gonna do with these samples?" I said, "Well, we're gonna set them down here and let customers install them, and we're gonna talk about product." And they were like, "What do you mean?" So I opened up a box, and the joke was I'm very mechanically inclined, but the joke was I opened up a box and I just laid 10 feet. I just got down on my hands and knees and laid it down, and they were looking at me like, "Oh my gosh!" I said, "Yeah, see, it's so easy. I don't know if we can do it." Right? So that was kind of the joke, but it went down great. It's still sitting there. We actually took one of the 12 by 24s, and I was like, I want to see how this thing molds up in a warehouse. So I went out in the warehouse, and I peeled the bag off, and I just threw it up in the air and dropped, and everybody's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Don't touch that." So I go out there, I'm in the warehouse, I look at it, and I just want to see. I actually drew a Sharpie line around it. I want to make sure it doesn't move.
Yeah.
Make sure it doesn't. And so we're testing the durability of it. I know this one guy, he's a real goofball, but he actually put it in his garage too. So I think it's going to hold up well in the garage. What are your thoughts on something like that? I mean, I think that's out of the box. I don't think that's what you designed it for.
No, it wasn't. Like, hey, let's make garage flooring, but no, it's definitely an option. I think I know that goofball.
You know that goofball?
Yeah.
I think his name's J.R. Rocky. We'll call him out. But it actually came in. I know about it because we kind of received it into our warehouse. It's like 2 miles from his house. And I saw it and I was like, wow, that's.
Well, it's funny you talk about garage, because garages there's a Wall Street Journal article, I think, that came out 2-3 years ago that basically stated how the garage has evolved from purely just for your car to basically an additional room. Either for some people it's their demise, and that's where they're all their storage, and they don't know what to do with room. Others it's a gym, or a place to work, or music room, or whatever, because it's a big room, it's big space. So instead of a cold concrete floor, why not spruce it up a little canopy floor?
I've got a wife, 4 daughters, and 3 dogs. I call it my safe space.
Oh yeah.
So when I go to the garage, it's my safe space. Yeah.
Obvious safe space.
My wife will come out, show the garage, go, "What are you doing out here?" Just looks at me. I think it's her safe space too, right? She gets the house to herself, and I go to my garage. But
creates 2 space.
So yeah, and I know Canopy's. I'm really proud to have Canopy as a sponsor on the Floorz asphalt super lay model. We run up in Michigan. We're in a couple races in Ohio this year. You kind of came. It all started at Hell's Kitchen, I think, in Vegas. I was like, "Hey, look at my race car." You're like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And I go, "Man, Canopy floors. That looks good on the car." And then it kind of just became a really good talking subject. And you decided to help support us there. And not only you're helping me as a retailer, but you're really helping the brand and just doing something different.
Yeah.
We had Matt Tiff driving it for a little bit. Matt's actually bought a racetrack.
Oh, really?
So We'll be talking about that, but we're getting ready to go. I think we're going carrying my digital media manager. I gotta make sure I got 2 carries now. I got a work carry and a home carry.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Wow. This one,
Very carries.
yeah, right. Too many carries in my world.
Yeah. Too many carries.
So this one's a Leo though, so she scares me a lot.
Yeah.
But so we're actually going. We're really talking about what we're speccing up there. So I'm trying to get some flex tile in there. I will get it because I think it's just like it's a great partnership. So anything else you'd like to share with me that?
No, I mean, we truly appreciate your efforts. It does, again, the reason behind the brand success as of today is you guys and you specifically, you Brian, have put a lot of effort and focus to believe in us, and that's humbling, right? Because we have to gain your trust, and I believe we have, and it's going to be a continuous work on. I mean, partnerships don't take them for granted. So you have my word that we will continue to bring the brand promise forward and bring products to you that you can comfortably and effectively sell and have your team sell, and we're going to continue this partnership to turn more into a friendship.
And the reason I need, but it's funny, Carrie. So Carrie's been with me digital. Say that twice. Digital media manager for like 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and she said, "How many friends do you have?" Right. So I think it's important because I don't just consider the vendors and the people that I do business with. And this is ISC. This is some people at Mohawk and Shaw competitors that you have. But what's important to me is that these are people that I trust.
Right.
Right. So our core values. I know if we were talking about our core values, I always tell people I like a good set of hips, and they're like, "What were you talking about?" Right. What's that about? So it's just an acronym for honesty, integrity, passion, and servitude. And I believe 100%. Servitude is serving people the way Jesus Christ washed somebody's feet and knew he was hung on the cross. Integrity passion is being passionate about doing that, passionate about serving people, right? Integrity is what you do when nobody's watching, right? And then honesty, right? So if you serve people honestly, with integrity, and passion, you're never going to fail because you're never going to be in a bad position. And I truly value the friendship, the partnership, because when I'm served with, I'll go back to servitude. I have an obligation to serve, as you do, your employees, your family. I have an obligation to serve my family. Mm-hmm. I have my work family, which I spend more time with my work, but with my family at work than my family at home. I have a really big passion and I take my responsibility really cool to make sure that when I put stuff in my retail stores or I bring stuff to a builder developer, that I'm doing it right. I'm bringing them a product that I know gives them value, gives them quality. I can stand behind. I've got a great friendship and a partnership with the person that manufactures that. I take that responsibility to the next level. Okay. I will, if somebody doesn't support me at Floorz and they do the wrong thing, I will throw stuff in that. Sometimes to a fault. Times I'm not gonna lie. There's been a couple of times I kind of regret it, but that's also my passion. That's what makes us who we are, is that if people are going to treat my customers right and support me, because we're always going to do the right thing. We're by no means perfect either, but we're always going to do the right thing. Because I don't ever want anybody to look at me and say, you didn't do something right. I'm going to do the right thing no matter what it costs me. I'm going to take care of my customers just by doing the right thing. I don't make that decision based on dollars. I base it on servitude. What's the right thing to do? So,
well, we kind of put a little. Well, I've kind of challenged the team to be unreasonable in our hospitality because of the same, call it having a good set of hips. Because I think in hospitality, a lot of those same words and meaning sits right in there. If you do what's go above and beyond what the customer or your partner expects, you'll create a mission, but more of a momentum and a culture that has servitude, passion, integrity, and humility. And I think that is going to be our name of the game, and we're going to continue to push that very hard here the next coming years. So
that's why we're great partners. That's why I'm very committed. I stock a lot of the SKUs. I'm committed to the inventory. I believe in what you're doing because I know that my key responsibility to bring the right products to the customer, front face, and from quality and support and warranty. I take it seriously, and you're the partner I choose for that space, and I'm excited to see what's to come. You know, I got some sneak peeks when I was here, which was awesome. You know, I'm super excited to see some of the colors and styles. You got one product I fell in love with. You know, when I saw it, I was like, wow. And it's a game changer, of course. And then John, the truck T's little minion, J.R. Reike. But you want a truck though? I thought he said 6. Yeah, right. Here we go. Yeah, I'll take 6 truckloads over 8. I don't think 6-year terms are going to work out very well.
No. That'll be a challenge.
But so yeah, I just want to leave. I'm going to leave with just one other thing. Is it, you know, I sit down with some of my customers, not customers actually, with my internal customers, some of my people and some vendors, and I talk about love, right? I truly love our partnership. I truly love the people that you surround yourself with. And I truly love every minute I get to spend with your team. Love to me is it's you know, it's being passionate, it's being true on self, it's about honesty, it's about commitment. I mean, people you should say love, they're like, oh, I love weird, you love them. Well, no, I truly do love you, but not in that way. I mean, I love you because you're committed to doing the right things, and you and your company and your people, and that just means a lot. So I just want to thank you. Let you know I love you, man.
I love you too.
All right, wait. Thanks for your time.